Hi, this is Andrew from the Big Idea podcast, focused on food. So we've got a great conversation for you today. Two co-founders of Plant Bliss, focused on plant-based foods. We're going to hear how they got started, some of the challenges they've had, and where they're going with Plant Bliss. Do listen. Please subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them in the required place, and we'll do our best to get back to you. If you do subscribe, you'll be able to be updated on new podcasts, which we try to put out on a weekly basis. So now over to the conversation of the Baltimore duo called Plant Bliss. Thanks. Bing bong.
Oh yeah, let's turn this off.
So, Brenda and Kyle, Plant Bliss, previously known as Plant Kind. Welcome to the Big Idea podcast focused on food. How are you both?
Wonderful. Thanks for having us.
Where are you today? Where are you guys hanging out? Obviously, it's is that a fake background there, Kyle, or is that the real place?
Oh, it's the real place. It exists here in Baltimore, sunny Baltimore, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Baltimore City.
That's the nicest I've ever seen. But no, I'm just gonna.
Oh.
I'm just playing. I'm wanting the hate mail from Baltimore. No, Baltimore's a wonderful place. So you both are in Baltimore. What's going on? What is Plant Bliss? Tell us the big story.
Oh, we're daring each other to go first. All right, so I'll go. So your Plant Bliss is
How dare you go first?
No, you're right. You know what? You're right.
Brenda, please go first.
Plant Bliss is just an amazing, innovative, and cutting edge, if you will, plant-based food brand. And it, all started right here, in Baltimore City. And basically came out of a desire between Kyle and myself to just see a better quality of plant-based foods on the market.
What weren't they doing right? What was missing?
I mean, I've been eating plant-based foods for a very long time, so I have seen so much and tasted so much. Not all of it very good. And it's gotten a lot better in the last few years, but in terms of just we wanted to start out with the condiments because honestly, the plant-based condiments left a lot to be desired for me, and I think Kyle would agree. And so when we looked to start a company that start a brand, we definitely kind of just zeroed in on, what makes food better, what makes the food that people eat and the food that people love better. And we thought, it's the condiments, it's what you put on the food. And so that's where we started.
And is this very much you and Kyle scratching your own itch? You said you've been a plant-based consumer for quite some time. This is what this is all about?
I'll let you talk now, Kyle. Go ahead.
We've been activists in the community for a while. So we've been teaching classes, throwing festivals. Brenda has modestly not mentioned her one of the largest vegan festivals in the country that she started, called Vegan Soul Fest, which not last year because of the plague, but before that, the previous year brought in, was it 15,000 people? Am I right about that?
Close, about 13,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've kind of had our hands in the plant-based food arena for years. For me, it was since about 2011. So
okay, so at least a decade in this space, and
Yep.
so you were sort of okay. The condiments, a lot of things suck, but the condiments in particular aren't so great, and there needs to be some innovation around there. And how did you get together with Carl? He was walking down the street and wearing a condiments suck t-shirt, or how did you come together as a team?
Wow, it goes way back about a decade. I was working at a vegan restaurant that Kyle would come in and have lunch a lot because the school where he taught at was close by. And so he was like one of our customers, and we got to talking. And so when that restaurant shut down, we sort of just kept in touch. And then, I started doing work in the community, brought Kylan into that work, and it was just kind of a match made in heaven, so to speak. We have very similar missions, very similar visions for what we wanted to see happen in the world, and then the work kind of was born out of that. So
And there's also very similar intolerances for bland and boring vegan food, which has been on the market.
You said Kyle popped in from the school that was near the restaurant. So you were at culinary school, Kyle? Is that?
Sorry, that makes me laugh. No, I was a music teacher.
You're a music teacher.
Yeah, I was teaching.
Okay. The story is more interesting. So you were a music teacher.
Yeah.
And so, how are you adding value to this wonderful organization of Plant Bliss?
I had just been cooking for years and being dissatisfied with everything in the market. So I've just been experimenting and trying new things for so long that eventually I came up with my own stuff. And I just started getting fed up with everything that was out there. So when we started teaching, classes and doing festivals, and we had to make our own products for them. And I came up with new recipes, new formulas, new vegan meats and cheeses and sauces and spreads. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I guess what I bring to the table from teaching is, I have a really good evil eye. So if anyone is talking out of turn in the audience, I really can clamp down on that quickly. And I can juggle an awful lot of tasks at once, let me tell you. So, but really it's just, I've just been working at this for a long time. I got into the science of it and just kind of lost myself in it. But Brenda has a lot of business acumen, which really helped a lot the entire time. Like I would never have thought to expand this much without her, without working with her all this time. She also neglected to mention the vegan restaurant she worked at wasn't just down the street from my school. It was the only vegan restaurant in Baltimore at the time.
Yeah.
Why did it close? What happened? What was it called? Why did it close?
It was called the Yabba Pot, and it closed because the owner moved away. And so it just kind of shut down because, the owner was no longer there. And there was this gaping hole in the city that place had been filling. And so when we started doing classes and workshops and vending at festivals and that kind of thing, there was a huge interest in this plant-based food that we were making and exposing folks to here in the city. And it was through that huge interest that we realized, like, we need to get this food out to more folks, and with Plant Bliss, that is just the goal. We want to make plant-based eating the norm. We don't want it to be weird. We want it to be normal. We want it to just be the way that people eat. But for it to do that, it has to be delicious. And that's just the truth.
And honestly, with the spreads, there are things you can add to just about anything to make it more flavorful, to make the experience better. And there are an awful lot of really great new products coming out. But to be honest, you need to add flavor. You need to make them into a better experience. Otherwise, you have people saying things like, "This is good for being vegan," or, "I guess it's all right." Like, I've heard that so many times, and we're tired of it. What we love hearing is people saying, "Mike, this is one of the best things I've ever tasted." Like with our from the restaurant, our vegan cheesesteaks and some other and we just get those compliments a lot, and we want to turn that into everything people eat that's vegan. It shouldn't be a question of, what am I going to sacrifice and how bad is the food going to be to just, live my life like this.
So how many vegan restaurants in Baltimore now?
Oh my goodness. There's been just a huge influx. So they're like, I don't know, Kyle, 8, 10.
There's 3 more opening up this next year.
There's a huge demand.
Yeah.
There really is. There are a lot of people who want to eat plant-based foods, and there are a lot of folks who see that, and we decided to get in on that wave because like plant-based food and plant-based eating is just exploding, and we're really happy to be able to be in on and at the cutting edge of that wave as well.
You say get in on that wave, but you guys started more than a decade ago.
We did. We did.
We started selling more than a decade ago. We didn't start the business more than a decade ago. We started teaching and activism and the cooking. We've been selling different. I was selling some different products about 7 years ago. I made desserts, and then we eventually got together and formed the kitchen, the deli to carry out our greener kitchen, and then Plant Bliss to carry the products out further through CPG channels.
So that's an interesting one. You guys have had for some time a deli, a plant-based deli in Baltimore called Greener Kitchen.
Yes.
And you've been trying different recipes and different foods and putting them into lots of people's mouths for quite some time. And they've been your guinea pigs and
test market, Andrew. They've been our test market.
Sorry about that. Test market and helping you to figure out what do people love, what kind of foods do people really grab hold of and just keep coming back for, right?
Yep. Yeah. And also supplying other restaurants, which has been part of what's helped the vegan restaurant community in Baltimore to grow. We make these good products. We didn't feel like we wanted to keep them to ourselves. So it gives us feedback from not just our customers directly, but from their customers and the other food service and seeing what their needs are, which is, again, one of the reasons we're opening with the products we are. It turned out one of the things everyone needed a lot of was mayonnaises and spreads and sauces, and it was surprising.
By far, by far, the mayo, which is made from chickpeas, which is like kind of a big deal. And then, all the different flavors of spreads is just the most popular of the product by far. So that's why we decided to launch Plant Bliss with those products.
Got it.
But yeah.
No, keep going, Carl.
No, I'm saying I digress. I'm answering questions you didn't ask yet.
Okay. Tell me the next question I'm going to ask and then answer it. How's that?
No, I can't. Not today.
Oh, has it been a tough day?
Okay. Not on a Thursday. I'm sorry.
So let's talk a little bit about the last year and a half or so since you guys came on board to the program. It's interesting because the impact of COVID has had different. It's had a different impact on different companies. They've responded in a different way, or lots of different ways. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on COVID because in 2 or 3 years' time, hopefully that won't be a big part of the discussion anymore. But one thing that I noticed and sort of hopefully helped a little bit around was you guys, when COVID happened, instead of sort of focusing on Plant Bliss and getting your condiments out, you sort of turned to your community. You guys sort of focused on what was happening in Baltimore. And that was much more of an important area of focus for you than, driving the business forward. So, do you want to talk a little bit about that experience?
Well, we did both. We did continue focusing on the business, but in a different way. But we certainly had to step up for our community in a very difficult time. We found that, during the time when COVID was first starting to shut things down and lots of people were losing their jobs, that food became a huge problem, and more specifically, access to food became a huge problem. And so we, as folks who were doing food service in low income in a low income community, it just was very apparent to us. We started doing a food giveaway out of the Greener Kitchen. And, the numbers of people and the numbers of families who would line up to get food was just, it was heartbreaking. Folks had lost their jobs, folks had already lost like benefits, and so they were desperate, and so we decided, we have to step up, we have to be here for the community, and so we did focus on that, while at the same time we kind of went back into the lab with Plant Bliss, and decided to rework some things and make the product even better, and Kyle can explain some of the ways that we decided to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tweaked the formulation and nailed down making it shelf stable 100%, and extending the shelf life, making the flavor profile better. I did a lot of work to the formula, which was good. I also worked on the COGS and cutting costs and other things. And then we shopped around for better co-packer, because one of the realities of COVID has been when the lockdowns happened, when the shelves started getting emptied, all of these co-packers, contract manufacturers, they just tightened up and only gave manufacturing time to the biggest customers they had, locking out startups across the board. I'm assuming you've seen that with a lot of the other companies too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it was a trying time for us, seeing plans that haven't been in progress fall through just like that. But we were at least able to make good use of the time. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and so I mean, now that things are starting to open up, and one of our primary markets has always been food service, it puts us in a good position of having a stronger product while everyone's opening up right now, to actually get it out there as quickly as possible and ramp up production as everyone scrambles to try to catch up now that things are reopening. Whether it's advisable that everything reopen right now is questioned, but
yeah, I mean, food service has taken such a hit this last 18 months to 2 years. A lot of restaurants closing, a lot of people losing their jobs, getting food manufactured, and then the channel of distribution for restaurants, for schools, hospitals. Hospitals are obviously still functioning, but universities were closed down for quite some time. Schools, restaurants. It's just been devastating for the food service side. Let's turn to brighter, happier, wonderful, nicer things. Plant Bliss. No, come on. Plant Bliss. Tell me about your first set of products that you're bringing to market. What makes them incredible, apart from the fact that you guys made it? I've had the benefit of having multiple dinners that you guys have created, made eating plant-based foods much more exciting, much happier. So tell us about the Plant Bliss foods that you're bringing to market.
Take it away, Kyle.
Okay, so yeah, we're launching with. I should start first by saying we are an everything company. We make everything from plant-based meats to cheeses to spreads. We're starting with our plant-based spreads. They're creamy, they're delicious, they go on top of everything. Four SKUs of an original mayo, chipotle, ranch, and a creamy blue cheese. They're shelf stable. Like I said before, they're a huge hit with food service everywhere, and we think they're going to do great in grocery as well. So for us, it's a logical place to start, because they tend to go well with everything else that we do.
So is it kind of a Holman's style in a bottle, in a squishy bottle type?
In a squishy bottle, yeah, in a squishy bottle, and eventually in squishy packets and other squishy form factors.
Okay, lots of squishy. All right, got it. So one more time, regular, which is like the Holman's type
original
mayo.
Yep.
Chipotle, plant, ranch, and what was the fourth?
Creamy blue cheese.
Yep.
Creamy blue cheese. How are you getting that blue cheese flavor, or is that kind of a top secret?
It is actually. It's very proprietary.
Kyle's socks.
Yeah. No. That would have been vegan, Andrew. We're very vegan.
They're very vegan. Okay. I've actually tried most of these products, and they are phenomenal. I mean, they're rich and tasty and just really, really delicious. So when are we going to see this in a store, and maybe not a store? Where are we going to see this somewhere, so that I can go and I don't know, beg a food service establishment to make some sandwiches with this product?
I mean, you can see them right now in Baltimore, but you're going to see them showing up in markets at the most likely in October, November.
Okay.
We'll be announcing details about where they're launching on our social media. So I'm assuming there's links to that at the end of this video. But,
well, I mean, as you mentioned it, just in case people think, okay, I'm going to go sign up for this because I want to find out about it. Where would they go to find out about your products as they launch? Where they can go find them and that sort of thing?
We can go to the website, so plantblissfoods.com. We'll have everything, all the information as including product locators, and once we launch e-com later on this year, an ability to go to the web store. But also you can check out our Instagram, Facebook. Plant Bliss Foods is our handle there. All those will be kept up to date with new happenings and what news we're getting.
Got it. So food service first, though, right? So restaurants and related.
Food service at the same time. Food service at the same time as grocery. But food service is one of our areas of expertise. So we like to push that as much as we can, and we know the need for it. We know how much that sector goes through these products.
Is Sprouts taking a look at you guys?
That's one of the targets one of our brokers is working on right now, actually. So we're hoping they will.
Awesome. Okay. So you said you're an everything plant-based company, condiments being the first thing. So I do recommend anyone, if go and find out when these products are going to be available and where, because the products are really, really special. So apart from the condiments, what's potentially on the horizon over the next year or two?
So we've got coming out early next year, by Q2 next year, we'll have some cheese sauces that actually are going to go great with chips and dip, as well as spread on top of everything hot or cold. So smoky white cheddar, nacho cheese, and a third mystery flavor that we'll announce when we get closer to it. But those are going to be fantastic and available both for food service and consumers. And then we also have block cheeses, sausages, deli meats, the whole 9 yards. The roadmap for those we'll disclose as we're ready to launch those.
Brenda, what's your favorite product of Plant Bliss?
Probably the ranch. I mean, I hate to be just like everybody else, but I've always loved ranch, and I missed it. I missed being able to have a good ranch, and I had tried some of the products on the market that were plant-based, and I just was never really happy. And then Kyle came up with our formula, and I was like, finally, being able, remembering all the foods that you loved and being able to consume things now that really kind of harken back to those foods that you love so much is just a really big sort of plus to being vegan at this time, to being somebody that's eating plant-based foods at this time, more so than at any other time. The foods are just really, really starting to improve, and Plant Bliss is able to be a part of that, and it's great. It's really an honor.
Yeah, between us, and by the way, we have an awful lot of vegan food eating experience. So the old days were actually pretty terrible. And Brenda, how long have you been vegan for?
24 years. Yeah, so I mean the food, yeah. So back when I started, it was just a struggle to eat. Not necessarily because of not having food, but just not wanting to eat the food that was available. Yeah. So yeah, it's come a long way.
Do you guys have a favorite product from a brand not your own? I know I kind of ran the Beyond Sausage by you at one point, Carl, and you were like, well, it's kind of okay, kind of thing. I mean, do you guys have a favorite product in the vegan space?
First of all, Beyond Sausage is revolutionary, and I think that it really is an amazing product. Kyle.
I kind of trash talk other products, so I should stop that.
Oh my gosh! I mean, sausage
it's the only thing that sort of keeps me going.
Is it?
There you go. There you go.
So it's a very good product.
I don't know, Kyle. Do you have like a favorite product? Maybe even one of the ones from the cohort, or?
You don't have to. No, I'm just like, seriously. What's kind of part of your weekly routine from a consumption perspective, or are you just making it all yourself and you're just a complete purist?
Kyle, I like
It's like you asked me to pick my favorite child out of all my children.
Is that right? Is it like that?
It's like, I mean, you can't put me on the spot like that and expect me to just like no.
I mean, I like field roast stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of
What
like
about
the child.
Do you guys have you guys tried the Alpha products? Alpha Food?
No, we haven't gotten them in our stores here yet.
Oh wow, okay.
Are those good as well?
So they do. I kind of find plant-based burritos and things. So something I can just sort of slam into like an oven for 20 minutes at a lunchtime. I know that's really bad of me, but
convenience. We live in a time where convenience is just so important. We're all on the go. We're all really busy. So I get it. I do.
She's given me permission to be slovenly, Carl.
I'm nothing if not supportive.
It's interesting that we're all in the food business, but we have less and less time to actually cook because we're in this business. It's
something.
It's just
so let's get back to Plant Bliss before people shoot me for being too sort of off track.
Oh, okay. I don't know who's doing the shooting, but
yeah, I know. I'm not going to talk about Baltimore again because I really will get hate mail. All right.
You can't try to pick a fight with us over Skype, Andrew.
I know. So Plant Bliss, where do you see yourselves being in, let's say, 3 years? Obviously, we all hope and firmly believe that COVID will be in the rearview mirror. So everything goes up to track. Where are you guys going to be in 3 years if everything goes to plan?
I mean, on the shelves everywhere. E-commerce will be popping. We'll be in stadiums. We'll be, in just across food service, hospitals, schools. We plan to be everywhere. I mean, that is the plan and that is the goal. And we're working hard to see that through.
I mean, the goal here, one of the goals is for everyone in food service too, and in addition to all the CPG places it can go, is to just say, look, this is an easy substitute. You switch this and you've just veganized a good portion of your menu, just like that. You don't need to do anything special for the rest of what you do. There's so many, adjustments to, procedure, cooking times, all this kind of stuff with other products. We want to use this special kind of vegan hot dog or whatever. There's new inventory. With vegan spreads and mayo, you really just need to stop buying the stuff with eggs in it and just buy our stuff. There's no difference. And you can just change over that part of your menu. And so we really could just be slotted right into the Subways of the world and everyone else who has these products in their menu. It would be no difficulty whatsoever. And so our goal is to make sure that we are the best option and the most ubiquitous option, to let people know, like, this is one of the quickest ways to satisfy a good portion of your customers' demands for plant-based food. Just do it. Just make the switch. You don't even need to carry the other stuff. And then I also want to be overseas at this point. One of the people involved in QP Mayo had really nice things to say about our mayo and that they would do well in Japan. So I'd like to get it over there. Why not? So in 3 years, we'll be everywhere.
So basically, it needs to be one of the first places it should be is in the stadium for the Baltimore Ravens.
Absolutely.
And where else? It should be in all of these football and
baseball. Yep. Everywhere.
I'm from Rochester, so if it can be the Bill Stadium, that'd be great.
Are you a Bills fan?
Make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was for 4 traumatic Super Bowls when I was growing up. I was definitely Bills fan through all of them.
So the company you need to talk to get it into the Bills Stadium is what's it called? Something North. Help me. Delaware North. North. So basically, Delaware North runs the stadium and a bunch of other stadiums around the country, actually. So
if you're listening, should I just call them out? Like Delaware North, if you're listening, give us a call.
Delaware North.
Right.
if there are people in your the consumption side who are into plant-based foods, who maybe they want to put a plant-based mayonnaise on their French fries or on their plant-based burgers, you're the guy to talk to, or you are the folks to talk to.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Plantblissfoods.com.
Yes, that's us.
Awesome. So we've kind of covered how you guys got started, why you got started, where you're going to be in 3 years, some of the challenges along the way. For other entrepreneurs, what would be some of the tips and tricks you'd give them to sort of help them to think through if they should start a company, and if so, how to do it well?
For me, I would just say figure out what your mission and goals are. Why are you doing this? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What are you trying to accomplish? And I think that having those things really figured out and set within yourself, and then starting from that point is the best thing that you could possibly do. You don't want to start without knowing exactly why you're doing what you're doing. And that we knew why. We had already been working, in food and in plant-based food for years before we decided to do this. So we were very clear about why we were doing it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it this far without that.
Carl, what else? What do you have to?
I thought Brenda had answered it all. No, I
mean, she normally does.
No, it's definitely the why. Hook up with an accelerator if you possibly can, and they're a huge benefit. BIV was tremendous. We would never. BIV put us forward at least 5 years from where we would have been if we'd done this all ourselves.
Look at that.
I'm trying to pass the $20 through the camera there, man.
I would take that. No, but seriously, if you are a startup that is first of all, get capital. You mentioned we've been doing this for 10 years. And the first many of those years, we were bootstrapping things. I have to tell you, bootstrapping is a miserable experience.
Yeah.
And there's more capital in this industry than there has ever been. So go get it,
One of the
accelerators like BIV is one. What's up?
I was going to say, apart from obviously BIV, one of the toughest things has got to be convincing a contract manufacturer, a co-man, that is going to manufacture your product for you at scale, that they should take the risk, because it's kind of a catch-22, right? Until you've got product, you can't sell product and prove that you're a great company.
Right.
And therefore that you're asking a big company to take a big risk on manufacturing your product for you. How do you get them to say yes? Is it just a lot of hands and knees begging, or what?
It's a lot of shopping around till you find someone that will, and also having the right team and knowing the right people. I mean, you really have to be networking. We wouldn't have the co-packer we have right now if it weren't for the network, which again we got through BIV.
Through BIV. I mean, it's true.
It's true. We've gone through and been on the cusp of starting with 3 different co-packers before we finally had this one, and each one of them wasted a ton of our time, and there were countless more before that we just weeded through trying to find someone. It's not easy, and most of those were before COVID too, so it's worse now. One of the other ways, and I don't recommend this, is to make it yourself. We've been manufacturing by small scale our own products at the Greener Kitchen for a while, but the equipment, the capital cost to get into that in a real way is also a huge barrier. So contract manufacturer is still, unfortunately, the only way to do it. And I don't know, you just have to be persistent. Don't give up. Someone out there will make it for you and get you to your start.
A lot of companies go through the make it yourself sort of, either because they've got a facility like yours, and that's rare, or you go to a commercial kitchen and they're paying $15-20 an hour or whatever it is for having a place that's hygienic and got the right quality standards and so on. The challenge with that is it becomes a very people-driven business. You're throwing more and more people at the problem instead of figuring out how to do it at scale.
Yep. and competing at that point in that way is very difficult. Having competitive prices is almost impossible, and there's a hard cap to how much you can make, and then the threshold at which you can justify the capital you would need to expand that into real equipment is obscenely high with a hand-driven process, with a people-driven process. So it's co-packers is still, I mean, it's a weak point, as COVID has pointed out to us. This highly efficient system we've made is, there's a lot of ways it can fail, and when it does, it's catastrophic. But it's also allowed companies that would never have the ability to scale this quickly to do so. And
it sounds like there's no silver bullet. It's people who know people like BAV and others who can connect you with different companies, and then cycling through, and a lot are going to say no, and a lot are going to waste your time, and it's a tough one.
I mean, it's surprising in 2021 how hard it is to find some of these people still. There's no, so many of them have a very little web presence, if any at all, and it's still just who you know. So,
persistence.
Yeah.
If we've learned nothing else, we've learned to just keep at it. Persistence is a must as a startup.
Now, you guys have known each other for, by the sounds of it, at least a decade.
Yes.
Yes.
You're both very sort of smart people. You're both very, you've got your own points of view. How has it been as two co-founders in a somewhat new company? Have you always agreed on everything? And how do you, if you haven't agreed on everything, how do you solve the fact that you might have different opinions on a way forward, or on a challenge that you're having to solve? How are you dealing with being two co-founders?
Kyle, I think we're lucky. We agree on almost everything. and that's probably rare. Hopefully not, but we really do. We have very similar visions, and Kyle is very cerebral. I kind of go with my feelings a lot more, and sometimes mostly that just kind of ends up being two sides of a whole that works. And so Kyle is he's going to get the facts. He's going to do the research. He's, going to really just make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And then sometimes I look at what he comes to me with and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. No, wrong, no. And so those may be the times when we kind of have to compromise. But for the most part, we see eye to eye on just about everything. So we're lucky.
Everything's up for discussion, but if someone feels strongly or has an intuition about that, we usually tend to go with that. So we just we have no problem getting to the bottom of whatever it is we're working on. But sometimes I feel strongly about something, Brenda feels strongly about something, and we usually just trust each other at this point enough to just go with it and see where it goes.
Well, it works. I mean, a decade later, since you guys first started doing things together, obviously not necessarily Plant Bliss, but on working on different things. Yeah,
we've come a long way.
Absolutely.
Long way to go, though. Still a long way to go.
Yes.
So let's ask a couple of quick questions. Usually ones I normally ask around this point in the discussion. What kind of help do you need, whether it's from customers, consumers, and the distinction for me, customers are those people who make a decision to put you on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Consumers are the people who run in and pull you off of the shelf and put you in their baskets and in their homes. Investors, advisors, what kind of help do you need apart from everything? What kind of help do you need right now, and how can people who are listening support the journey that Plant Bliss is going through and will continue to go through?
Well, I can say we can start with customers who would like to try some exciting new products on their shelves. We are more than happy to set you up. It's the right time for us, and we're ready to go. So that's one thing is, customers are people that have stores in mind that they think we might be a good fit for, or restaurants, or you name it. We especially love restaurants with chains, which we know we can supply and work with head chefs to make sure that everyone's happy with the product and how it's performing. So we work well with direct feedback. We're chefs ourselves, so it's a no-brainer for us. And then of course, investors. We're opening a formal seed round next month, So
cool.
anyone interested in coming in on that with us can reach out to us and or suggest other people we can talk to. I'm more than happy to talk to them.
What else would you say, Brenda?
For consumers, I would say, we are a mission-driven business. We're all about, spreading this message and spreading this food as far and wide as possible. And so we would appreciate help with spreading the message and just putting us out there, putting us on the map, so to speak. So, following us on social media, talking to people about us, go to the website and find out more and connect with us and, just spread the word about what we're doing because, that's I feel like that's really important as well.
And once we have once we have posted more ways for consumers across the country, especially e-com, to get the product in their hands, we want to see what they're doing with it too. So I'm looking forward as a chef and teacher to see what people create. It'll be really exciting for us.
So consumers should definitely go into their local restaurants, whether they're vegetarian, vegan, or normal is hello. There's more of that hate mails on its way to me. People should certainly go along to their favorite vegan restaurants and ask them when they're going to be stocking Plant Bliss and when they can add the chipotle and the ranch that is so lacking in the market right now. When they can get that plant-based Plant Bliss ranch, chipotle, come on, help me, guys.
Creamy blue cheese.
I always miss the creamy blue cheese. I don't know why I do that.
But you never forget the chipotle because I know that's your favorite.
It is really good. Actually, I really like your plant-based steak and cheese.
That's
a
local favorite. Yep.
Yeah, that cheese sauce is what's going to is the basis of our next expansions.
Okay.
Right now it's in R&D to finish making it shelf stable as well. And by the time that's ready, you'll be able to get that anywhere. And I would love to see that in stadiums, at the hot dog cart where you can get your vegan hot dog, and then just pump that all over your nachos or.
It's not just cheese. I want the plant-based steak roll thing that you do. Remember the first dinner?
Oh yeah.
I need to get you some of that.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's made fresh at the Greener Kitchen, so I have a window I can send it to you in, so that'll work.
What I need to do is find a way of getting from New York to Baltimore so I can just come and hang out in the Greener Kitchen for a couple of days. I'll just take an Airbnb for a few days and just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in your restaurant.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
It's like having personal chefs. It'll be great.
Okay, so investors, your round is starting by the sounds of it next month, give or take.
Correct.
Yes.
Consumers, go talk to your local vegan, vegetarian, and normal restaurants. Oh God. About taking Plant Bliss into the store. If you happen to be Delaware North and you want a plant-based mayo in your stadium or in your stadiums, then reach out to Plant Bliss because it's a cracking product.
Also, if you happen to be Aramark too.
Aramark? What about Banco? Bon Appetit Management Company out of California.
Oh, yeah. Fidel, that's someone I need to talk to again. Fidel, yes.
Let me know when you're going to do that because we talk often and he'll tell me when he gets it and what he thinks.
Okay.
So another one of our cohort companies is about to get it into some stadium or some large big headquarters somewhere as a trial. So
what are they making?
They're making a plant-based fish product.
Oh, interesting.
I would like to know more. Ask them if they want to make it for any local Baltimore restaurants that could use it.
Well, so here's the interesting thing. If it's a fish-based product and they decide, or somebody, for example, decides to make a sushi out of it, then sushi often has drizzles of, spicy mayonnaise and various other things to get that contrast.
Oh, also I have a tartar sauce that's going to be one of the expansion products too, so they may want to use that too.
All right.
Tell them to hit us up.
Let's do
Yeah.
that. Okay, so let's do it one more time. If someone's a consumer, someone's a customer, someone's a distributor, retailer, stadium, investor, again, what's the best way of finding Brenda and Kyle?
So reach out to us. You can hit us up by email at info@plantblissfoods.com. Follow us on all social media. Check out our website, sign up for a mailing list. We'll be in touch with you there. But absolutely, you can reach out to us at info@plantblissfoods.com.
And we're both on LinkedIn as well, so let's not forget that.
Yeah, you can message us personally there too. We're happy to talk.
So Plant Bliss, PLANT, then BLISS, foods, FOODS.com. Linked through the same thing. Brenda Sanders, SANDERS.
Yes.
Kyle Andrew. That doesn't make sense.
It's Kyle Harvey. Andrew's my middle name. Kyle Harvey.
Spell the last name for me, Kyle.
Harvey.
Awesome. Okay, so if anyone is listening to this who wants to engage with Plant Bliss, I really do, couldn't more highly recommend the products. Brenda and Carl have an incredible array of products that, unfortunately, a lot of them are going to be kept in the back secret room until the first few are super successful. So the only way you're going to get to see the full range of products that these guys can create is by making sure the first few are super successful and everywhere. And then we can launch the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and all the other things that are coming.
That's
Enough
true.
Said.
Again, thank you guys for taking time off of like being just focused on yourselves and your business, and turning that business to focus on your community and the people who needed you and needed others at the first stages of COVID in Baltimore. Thank you, for doing that. I know, I think, we were really sort of proud of you guys and what you were accomplishing and what you were helping to do. Shame that it needed to be done, but the fact that you guys stepped up and were there for Baltimore was fantastic. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I should also mention to everyone listening that Andrew immediately started fundraising for us to have some more funds to give to people to use for the food relief we were doing right when it started. So
yeah, we appreciated that. Thank you.
Yeah, and then whoever gave with you, thank you as well if you're listening.
Awesome. Well, together we can do it. We can do some great things. So, all right, guys. Plant Bliss Foods, you guys are amazing. I'm really looking forward to trying your products. How far is New York to, not that I live in New York, close to New York, how far is New York to Baltimore?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Train or car?
Train 3 hours and 15 minutes.
All right. I think your food is worth the journey. I need to come and hang out with you guys.
Yes, you
Please do.
Yes, you do. Come on.
Any last passing thoughts, things that you want to leave behind before we press the stop button and let people get on with the rest of their day?
Go vegan if you haven't already. For everyone, not just you. Yes.
And I so appreciate this opportunity to be on the podcast. We want as many people as possible to know about us and to know about the products and to know about our mission. And so this is right along, right in line with what we're trying to do. So thanks for having us on.
Oh, and Brenda, by the way, has been modest and not mentioned that she also has a podcast.
Really, Kyle?
Did
My
you?
goodness.
Do you? What's it called?
I do. So it's called Food and Justice.
Nice.
And and so it kind of goes more into the activism side of my work. So and it can be found, hasn't officially launched. It'll officially launch in about a week. And so we'll be on all the different podcast platforms as well as on YouTube.
Food and Justice. That's what people need to go search.
Yes, Food and Justice with Brenda Sanders.
Nice. Also mentioned the festival because I was at the Plant World conference, I think about 2 years ago, and there was a group of people who were they had a booth and they were promoting your festival. And I was like, this sounds like such a cool thing. So what was the name?
Wow. So it's called Vegan Soul Fest, and it's one of the largest veg fests in the country. And we are going to be, we're right now in the middle of planning the 2022 Vegan Soul Fest. It's going to be an event, a momentous event. So people should keep an eye out for that as well.
And this is all, hopefully this is a physical event, right? Where people can go.
Absolutely.
And is there a lot of food there?
Yes, a lot of food. We had close to 100 food vendors 2 years ago, last time we did the event, and we'll probably have even more. It's expanding, and it's just a very exciting festival. So folks should it's definitely worth traveling for, and lots of people do.
And it's in Baltimore?
It is in Baltimore.
And Plant Bliss will have a stand there so everyone can try the food?
Absolutely.
The Greener Kitchen. Yep, you can come grab a cheesesteak and then try everything the new packaged products we have coming up.
That's right.
All right. So everyone, what's the website for that festival, just so that people can go and bookmark it so that they can.
Sure. So it is at vegansoulfest.com.
Oh, easy. Nice. Okay, I'm coming. I'll definitely come to Baltimore for that. I won't be invited. If anyone sees me, I'll have to wear like a fake beard or something. So
it's because of all the shades you've thrown at Baltimore during this conversation. If that happens,
that's that guy that ragged on Baltimore on that podcast. We're not letting him in.
You don't forget. No, that's not.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time spent. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your products on the shelves and in the stadiums. The Buffalo Bills will be consuming this at some point in the future, I'm sure.
That's right.
That's the plan.
Thank you.
Right. Pressing stop. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation with Plant Bliss. Please do subscribe so that you can be updated on our weekly podcasts. In addition, should you need to get hold of anyone from Plant Bliss, go along to plantblissfoods.com or find them in Instagram, LinkedIn, and other places. So in terms of big idea ventures, we find young companies around the world focused on plant-based, cell-based, and fermentation-based foods, meat, seafood, and dairy in particular, and we do our best to support them, help them, give them the tools they need to be successful. So if you know of anyone in the space who's interested in getting some help, maybe getting some investment, have them come along to bigideaventures.com. Thanks very much for taking part in today's podcast. Any questions, please do drop them below or reach out to us. So this is Andrew from the Big Idea Podcast, focused on food. Thanks very much. Have a great day.